Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
Today is our special David Decoteau episode. So,
Yep.
Yeah. It was interesting looking over his IMDb.
Yeah, it's quite the list.
Yeah. Plenty to choose from.
yeah, you got Nightmare Sisters. You got whatever that. I mean, he's got like so much stuff from the '90s in particular, like that. I'm kind of curious. What was it? Creepazoids or whatever it's called? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
I
got
guess
there's a couple series he does, the 13 ones, and then
Yeah.
the wrong blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's clear that the guy likes to work. So
Yeah.
I guess he did like a couple Edgar Allan Poe adaptations. Although I forget what they're called, but yeah, I just spotted that.
Yeah.
Dream Maniac or whatever it's called.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this might not be the last time we visit his filmography, so watch out.
He's gonna stay on the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty to choose from. He's got a
Yeah, just like Albert Pian.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we discuss his work though, is there anything you guys watched recently that you want to mention, or any kind of news or anything?
I saw the John Wick 4.
Ooh, how was it?
Nice.
It's not bad. Probably my favorite so far. I know they're probably gonna make more, but
Okay.
there's a couple like really funny parts that came out of nowhere.
It definitely makes the most of its runtime. Because I saw it too, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely a John Wick movie. So.
There's a scene towards the end where he just keeps falling downstairs.
I plan to see it tomorrow, actually. So
Nice. All right, I won't say too much more then.
Yeah, we can talk about it more next week.
Yeah.
Nice. I saw a knock at the cabin.
Oh yeah, I saw that
Shyamalan.
Oh, cool. Was it good?
It was all right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I wish it still felt very Shyamalan with his dialogue, but the plot was more straightforward. I feel there wasn't too big of a twistiness in it.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see that one. I mean, I don't know. His films are pretty interesting. So
it's on Peacock now.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it. Yeah, I had a few days left of a free trial on that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're putting Cocaine Bear on there next week.
Yeah, nice.
So I'll finally check that out.
Yeah. I might jump on the Peacock train at some point.
It's one of the cheaper services. So.
Yeah. If I do, it'll probably be like to see like. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna see on it, but I'll definitely watch Knock at the Cabin though for sure. Like,
yeah.
Well, the most interesting thing I actually didn't finish it. I started watching it with a friend. The new Tetris movie.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I like it so far. I mean, the story behind the making of Tetris is actually like pretty intense. course, I mean, this movie kind of ramps it up with a lot of like action and like car chases and stuff.
Yeah,
But
really.
yeah, I mean, at least that's what I understand. But I watched, my friend and I watched, I think the first like 35 minutes or so. And yeah, we haven't finished it yet, but I don't know. I like it so far. It's kind of an interesting way to make a video game movie. Instead of it being about the video game, it's about the making of the video game. So yeah.
I think now that that's out, I saw something for another movie like that about a game. I forget which game it is, but
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd be interested to see more of this kind of thing, just
yeah.
because like I don't know, people don't often think about what goes into a video game. So
Just make it like How to Make a Monster.
yeah. Actually, that a part of Tetris kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Like when I was watching it, I kind of thought about. I was reminded a little bit of that movie. So, but I don't know. I mean, some video games have interesting backstories behind the making of them. So,
Yeah. I want to see Mario. That's out. Haven't seen it yet.
I want to see that one too.
Yeah, me too.
Sometime this week, I think I will.
Probably.
At Universal Studios, they have their plumbing car from the movie out in front of the theater.
Oh, nice.
Didn't see the movie, but I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably see it sometime in the next couple weeks. So it looks pretty cute. So, and I don't know. I mean, everybody was kind of iffy about the trailer, but I thought I don't know, it looked like something I could enjoy. So
yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's talk. Let's get down and dirty now with this episode, because now we got to get into the nitty gritty here. It's regarding these movies here. These movies. So all right. Remind me again. What was the movie we watched on this show that was by him? Dr. Alien. Right?
Yeah, Dr. Alien.
Okay. So would you guys say that like I mean, I don't know, what do you guys remember about Dr. Alien specifically?
Nothing.
Oh.
Like okay. I don't know, I wouldn't say typical, but 80s sex comedy.
Yeah.
With
that's
an alien.
Mostly yeah, that like
okay,
some lady with a big alien mask, yeah.
I'm looking at it now, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the memories are starting to flood back. So.
It looks familiar, yeah, but I don't remember the story or anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from Dr. Alien, because that's mostly what I remember about it too, is it being a kind of a safer than average teen sex comedy with a lady in an alien mask. But I had seen a couple other films of his. I'd seen one of the Brotherhood movies. I forget which one. It might have been the third one. And we're going to talk about a movie that I guess is kind of related to it, but I should say that like the one that I saw has pretty much the same plot as the one that we're going to talk about.
I've seen a couple of his. I've seen Creepazoids.
Okay.
And then basically the whole reason this podcast exists, like when I came up with the idea for it, is because of Grizzly Rage.
Oh. Nice. Dang. I don't think I've seen that one.
Interesting. We'll have to do it at some point.
I'd be down for that. Maybe on our part 2 or part 3 or part 4. This whole podcast is just going to be devoted to his movies.
Right. Just go down through his list.
Yeah. But the only other thing I think of his I saw was a gay romantic comedy, the Leather Jacket Love Story. I think I bought that from Newberry Comics when I was in high school. So, but I guess, so I did watch that review of the DB Cooper versus Bigfoot that Red Letter Media did.
Yeah.
And I guess I am kind of relieved that none of us chose that one, because that would have been quite the nightmare. So, but I guess the first one we're going to talk about is the one that you chose, though, Nick.
Yeah. So it's, speaking of brotherhood, it's the Sisterhood.
Yes.
This was the only movie we had to pay to watch on this round.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it's not on Tubi.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Distributed by Image, maybe that's why.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to make the most of what was left, I guess. So.
Okay, yeah. I chose it because it had vampire teeth on the cover.
Yeah.
And I like vampires, but that didn't really come into play until like the end. I wasn't sure if it was a vampire movie really until like the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it like it doesn't specifically spell out that like that it's about witches, but you can infer that that's what it is, since they're always talking about magic and
yeah, witches and stuff, but not vampires necessarily.
Yeah.
They talk about living forever a couple times, but
yeah. So
it's I don't know. It was like this was a bad one too. Shit.
Yeah, it was I mean it kind of reminded me almost like kind of like a movie like The Craft or something like that. Or like some kind of movie about like a sorority house or fraternity house or something, like a initiation, like the Skulls or something. It's like The Craft meets the Skulls, and then flush the budget down the toilet, and you get the Sisterhood.
Yeah, he sure likes his sorority movies.
Yeah, he makes a lot of them.
Yeah, this was like a I'll just start to explain the plot, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
Starts out with people making out at a sorority, and then I don't know, it's this girl, she gets chased off a building, off a roof by some monster looking thing in a cloak.
Yeah,
It had
like
some weird blue mask too, yeah.
Yeah, and like neon eyes or whatever, neon light eyes.
So that's like the little cold open, I think. Was there even opening credits? I don't remember. The other ones definitely had them, but
I think there was. Yeah, but they were. I don't know. They were kind of generic looking.
I
like
skipped through all of the opening credits for all these movies.
Yeah. There's a lot of like flashing editing.
Oh my god!
That was like one of my first notes was, oh god, like the flashing edit. Stop it, please.
I was like, is this gonna be the whole movie?
Yeah, because it started out like, so there's the new girl that we follow, the main one. She's comes to this new school, and then I don't know, she's just walking to class, and it's just this shitty music and flashing of just all of like people around her. Just
yeah, she would like be walking toward her for her sorority, and then it would flash, and then she'd be like maybe 2 or 3 inches closer and closer, and every time it flashed she'd get closer. It's like, okay,
they should have had like an epileptic warning in front of this movie.
Yeah. I agree. It wasn't quite as bad as Left 4 Dead as far as the flash editing goes, but pretty bad still. What were you about to say?
Yeah. I just want to mention the main girl. It's played by Jennifer Holland. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
I looked her up. She's like done a bunch of DC stuff recently, it looks like.
Yeah, and she's James Gunn's wife or partner. I don't know if they're married.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if he saw this movie.
Sure, he had to have.
That's hilarious.
He comes from trauma, so he's got to have watched something like this.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she looks totally different now than she did in this movie. Like, I didn't recognize her until I looked at the cast list.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
her
Barbara Crampton.
IMDb was way different looking, or at least I didn't see any of those stuff she's in, but yeah.
Hmm. It's always cool to see like actors and actresses that went on to be popular. Like, there was somebody in one of those Urban Legends Final Cut, the sequel to Urban Legends Final Cut. Had somebody in it. It was like Tyra Banks or someone. Um, I don't remember exactly, but or maybe Luke Wilson. Anyway, somebody who was like popular before they were, or like before they were popular, was in that. It's
Hmm.
just kind of funny.
Yeah. um so this girl, Christine, I think, or Christine, she's a going to this school. Well, first they go to this her dormitories, which just look like an apartment building
Yeah,
dormitories, and you meet her roommate, who I don't know, her acting was horrible.
Yeah.
Seemed like she was half asleep the whole time.
yeah, her facial expressions and everything were cracking me up.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a lot of these movies, is that the acting isn't too good in really many of them. But
Yeah. This main
um,
girl did fine, I think, but other than that,
yeah, I thought Barbara Crampton did pretty good as the teacher. Like, she was
yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
I liked all the scenes that she was in. Um, Although that might have been because I like Barbara Crampton, because I saw her in like Reanimator and stuff like that. So,
It's another thing all three of these have in common. He's got some good horror women in it
Mm.
yes,
in all three.
yeah, I'll definitely give David Decoteau props for having decent casts. So
Yeah. So she goes to class. She's a chem major, I guess. She's gonna be a doctor. Um, she's sitting next to this nerdy guy that's, talking her up. He's gonna be a doctor.
yeah,
And
they're like learning psychiatry in their classroom or whatever, but they're not learning
yeah.
about how to actually like do psychiatry, but rather like the origins of psychiatry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said, like, they mentioned, oh, this teacher's weird and stuff. And I guess she is kind of weird for a college teacher to of psychology. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
fucking
guess,
say.
yeah, for lack of a better word. I mean,
Because she was just like, I don't know, there for the plot, I guess, tell you what was going on mostly.
yeah. At first, she warns the main girl to stay away from the sisters. But
Yes.
then, like less than 10 minutes later, she's encouraging them to infiltrate,
Yep.
or encouraging her to infiltrate them.
Yeah. It's a bit of a spy movie as well, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh, oh, and then that first class too, she's like falling asleep or something, and like she somehow writes her own name on the whiteboard, and she just flips out and runs out of the room.
yeah,
I
and
don't know.
like
I don't
like
know what
only
that was.
that was really weird, because like two people noticed that her name was written on the whiteboard, and it was like very clear, like blue marker, like not the same color as the other writing, but
Yeah.
nobody else seemed to notice aside from those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody was more confused about why they both ran out of the or why she ran
Yeah.
out of the room.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She straight up just bolts out of the room freaking out. I'm like, I wasn't even sure it was her doing it. It was just
Yeah,
a
I wasn't
random.
either.
yeah,
Like, okay, why is she running out?
She just saw her name on the board and ran up the room. Because like the teacher also was in front of the whiteboard while it was happening, so no one could really see it actually happening.
yeah. And the teacher didn't even seem to notice it happen. Like, she didn't acknowledge it. So,
Nah.
of course, then later you find out that well, spoilers, but later you find out that she knows more than she appears.
Yeah. Some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, it really.
um um we get some backstory on her. She with her roommate. That I don't know. It's for some reason it's her birthday, but she's not going out to party. She doesn't like to party. Her parents died in a car crash. Uh,
Yeah, so she's kind of a orphan.
yep. Like I guess all of the life insurance money or whatever went to the college tuition there, so she has to take it serious.
Yeah.
I wrote down she puts out a candle with her mind and her eyes glow here. I remember that, but I don't. It was kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't remember the context, but I definitely remember that she did that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just writing down shit that she was doing because none of it was all happening for no reason. One was she was doing, I don't know, like it didn't really explain why, but she was doing this card game with the teacher, that thing where they have to guess the symbols on the other side of the card if you're psychic or whatever.
Yeah.
So somehow, well, we know why now, but like it wasn't clear at all how or why the teacher was doing these tests with her. And one of them was hilarious. It was the teacher put numbers into a computer, and she said, "Now put these into a column." And she did. She manipulated the computer with her mind or something.
Yeah, she made them all move on the screen. Yeah, the effects were just
so fucking
so it was all pretty lame.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
But the teacher is mad impressed with that stunt, so she asks Christine to infiltrate the sorority, the bat sorority, not the dips.
Yeah, the Sisterhood.
The Beta Alpha Tau or Toy, depending on like if the roommate called it Beta Alpha Toy. It was Beta Alpha Tau.
Oh my god, the roommate was like, I don't know, she was just cracking me up mostly.
Yeah.
She
was just like, kind of there. It's her only credit, like that actress's only credit on IMDb too, is this movie.
Yeah. They probably filmed her for like a day.
Oh yeah. The whole movie was probably filmed in a day.
It felt like it. I mean, that's kind of how I felt about the other one, the Brotherhood 3, because like in the Brotherhood 3, there's like this dude that wanders around in a robe, and every time he encounters somebody, like the person that he encounters, like they like fall to the floor, but they fall in a weird way. They like slowly crouch down, and then it cuts to the next scene, and it's like, what is he just making everybody give him a blowjob or whatever? But then they disappear. So it's like that. That's what happened in that movie.
Is he trying to pull an Obi-Wan?
Yeah, maybe. He just disappears into a cape on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh boy. No,
There's a lot of sex scenes in it.
In this one?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, I mean, they're not really sex scenes though. It's more just people groping each other. But
yeah.
Like
softcore porn, but no nudity at all in this movie. There's some bullshit.
Like if this is what you're going for, at least show something.
Yeah, come on now. There was like there was a nip slip almost with the main character.
Oh yeah.
But not fully. Disappointing.
Yeah, this movie it had what do you call it? It's like, I don't know, it almost could have been a PG-13, honestly. Like the sex scenes were like really pretty much just like a lot of foreplay. And and then
there's really no violence either.
Yeah, pretty much. Like until like
or swearing. So yeah, was it PG-13?
I mean, I almost want to say I almost like feel like it was. Like I feel like David Decoteau is like he's like teetering the line between like this probably isn't really for kids under like around the age of 13, because it's like clearly just a lot of sex scenes and stuff, but there's no nudity in them and like no humping. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this had been PG-13. So the sorority, the whole sorority atmosphere, like even that seemed kind of less like rambunctious than you typically see in most colleges, and a lot more like reformed.
Yeah, they were like just standing around drinking wine. They weren't like having a big ass party or keggers or shit like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like It was like milder than a Harry Potter party.
Yeah.
It is rated R according to IMDb
Huh, okay.
for sexuality and violent images.
Okay.
I guess the lady on the ground with the pool of blood, like, I mean, that counts as a violent image. They show it a lot. So
They show, yeah, there's like maybe 50 minutes of actual footage and then just a lot of flashback into shit we saw already.
yeah.
Yeah, they have the parents guide. I don't know if you've ever looked at those on IMDb, but it's like sex and nudity, mild. Violence and gore, moderate. Profanity, hell is said once. That's the
Oh,
only profanity.
Shit. Yeah.
okay.
But
Well,
yeah, I don't know how that constitutes an R rating, but okay.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I
I've
mean,
seen worse PG-13s, I feel.
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely. I don't know. It's strange. Like Batman, the Batman was like a hardcore PG-13. Like that was like a R-rated thriller compared to this, you know.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Anyway, let's see. I don't know. There's that guy too. We get a little. He's a virgin, I guess, for some reason, saving himself for marriage.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing I was going to mention. Is that like I've noticed about David Decoteau's movies is that the men in them tend to play like the women's roles almost, like, because I remember there was something like that in the Brotherhood movie that I saw as well. That like that I think the main character was like it might have been some lady, and then like her boyfriend was like a virgin who was like kind of playing what you typically see like the girls play in a lot of these slasher movies. And like, so I don't know, and I remember reading an interview with him, like where he said something about how he likes to do the gender reversal stuff where the men get victimized like women typically do in movies. So and when you watch his movies you can kind of pick up on it like more and more. Even in this movie there's like some moments where the men get put in like pretty vulnerable situations where they're like getting threatened and stuff. So
Yeah. That tracks for at least two of these movies. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, because it happens in the another one we watched. Yeah.
So they go to the party, a bat party, and the president, Devin, of the sorority wants to get the main character into there because she, I don't know, senses that she's magic or something, or I don't know if she knows the backstory of the main character at all, but oh shit, I
mean,
guess
like
she must.
she like when she shows up with the sisters, does like they kind of do the whole like Lost Boys thing where they kind of have her sort of follow along with what they're doing or whatever, and, like go through like an initiation type thing.
Yeah. So that's the story. The teacher wants them to join, and we get this little fucking montage of them, I don't know, doing sorority shit.
Yeah, drinking wine mostly.
Yeah. Oh, there was like a makeover montage too of her, like she was all, I don't know, dressed in like regular kind of clothes, and then now all wearing black and stuff,
Yeah.
and looking more edgy.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta say, one thing I did like about this movie was the clothes. Like, I thought like the dresses looked like they fit really well and they looked pretty comfortable. And then like everything, even though like there were a lot of moments where the characters were mostly just kind of in like, you know, lingerie. I don't know. It seems like David Decoteau has got a good grasp on the fashion world. So
Yeah,
Definitely of the time too.
yes, yes, 100%.
Yeah. So after that, you kind of get the feeling that she's getting corrupted too. She's falling into the dark side after the little montage.
Yeah.
And then Josh, the nerd, his name's Josh. He bails on her to go study. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty much mostly just like a lot of exposition
things
and
just happening.
flashbacks. Yeah, the witches kind of go after men here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
yeah.
after that, she's like pissed off or like, oh, but so she drinks the wine. I guess it's kind of like she fully accepts whatever them because she doesn't drink or whatever. And but that's like the moment where she starts, I don't know, going bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was given a necklace by the teacher that's supposed to help her be protected and shit. So after she drinks the wine,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the necklace.
yeah. After she drinks the wine, the president and or another random sorority will go up, take her up, and make out on a bed while she watches and touches herself. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
everyone's
know what you mean.
clothed. So
Like it sounds like a raunchy sex scene when we describe it out loud, but like when you actually watch it at the movie, it's very confusing what's
yeah,
happening.
yeah. The whole movie's just
Yeah.
confusing. Uh, um,
Yeah. Then the climax happens really like pretty quickly too. Like the way it escalates.
yeah. So we're given some vampire lore that's I wrote down by the teacher. So this is when I'm thinking, oh, here we go. We're gonna start seeing vampire shit, but it still really doesn't happen until the last few scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the most vampire anything that you get in this movie is literally like in the last like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which are practically there.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. She had to meet the teacher, but she skips out on it. The teacher notices she's not wearing the necklace, and you're like, oh no, you're going bad. The sororities, I don't know, for whatever reason, starts turning that Josh dude, like corrupting him. So he starts skipping classes and wearing black and shit and making out with the president, the Devon lady, the main bad girl.
Yeah.
There's one part where the main girl just kind of glows. She started glowing pink. Yes. Yeah, the sorority president wanted said, "Show me your powers" or whatever. Like, I want to see what you can do. And yeah, she just she just glows pink. That's I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah. And you know, they could have done it like like they could have made it look really cool, but instead they went the cheap route and just did superimposed colors on top of her instead of like using actual lighting or anything, you know. I mean, I don't know, maybe he didn't have the money.
Yeah. And then we're kind of actually given the backstory, because Christine sees that Josh is being corrupted and she doesn't like it and wants to stop it because he's a good boy.
Yeah.
So she goes back to the teacher, and we're given the story that this girl is actually immortal. Her name's Devon.
Yeah.
She killed the teacher's father. I don't know, she's like 400 years old or something too.
Yeah.
She actually killed Christine's parents as well. Christine, but it was like, but my parents died in a car crash, and the teacher was like, "No, those are your adopted parents. You're actually adopted." She killed her real parents.
I mean, oh, that twist made me so mad.
Me too. It was so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, they pretty much just like at this point in the movie, they're just trying to wrap everything up and make sure that it's tied in a very, very tight lipstick red bow, is what I would describe it as being.
Yeah. So the plan is during their initiation, she has to use her powers. That's all they say. They don't specifically state what that means. Just to stop her, you have to use your powers. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but like.
But somehow she does.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah, and this is where we see the vampire stuff actually happen is um the roommate goes first. They put her in a coffin and she gets bitten. And I guess she's a vampire now. We don't really know.
Presumably, yeah. I mean, we can only assume. You know,
And
we got to
then
use our imaginations a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it's Christine's turn, and the teacher's there too. She's hiding out as one of the sorority girls. She, like, unhoods and says, "Use your powers." And I just wrote, "There's a lot of shouting here."
Oh yeah.
Just a shouting match between like the teacher and the vampire girl, and
Yeah, because the teacher really wants her to use her powers, which she hasn't used quite yet at this point. You know? Other than for the stupid computer crap, like that's like the most she did with it at this point.
yeah.
And
Then,
glow.
but yeah, it works, I guess, because the teacher stakes her. And yeah,
Yeah,
boom,
she uses
they win.
There's like a weird rock thing that happens. It's like
Yeah, some effects happen over
Yeah.
her.
yeah,
And that's
pretty good.
basically it.
Yeah, Yeah.
The last few things are they're the new bat sorority. I guess the roommate was fine. I don't know how or why, but she's not a vampire, but still alive. And
yeah.
then at the very end, the girl gets out of her coffin and pulls the stake out. It's like,
And then
okay.
it goes Sisterhood 2.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you say that this was worth the? How much did it cost to rent? $2.99, $3.99, however much it costed to rent.
$2.99 for standard def.
Yeah, $2.99 for standard def. Was it worth it?
No.
Okay.
No.
I would agree. I mean, the main character figured out pretty much everything she was supposed to do in the first like 30 minutes, and then she spent like a good 30 more minutes or 40 more minutes or so procrastinating, you know, before finally like doing whatever that weird thing was with her necklace.
It was short, yeah.
Yeah.
But all it seemed real long.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like it could have, like, I don't know, they could have actually made it shorter, to be honest. Like, they didn't need so many flashbacks. That was probably my biggest problem with this movie, was just the flashbacks ended up being overkill, you know. Yeah, I don't know. What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 5?
On a scale of 1 to 5?
Yeah, or you could give it less than 1 if you want.
I can't give it a 1, man.
Yeah, I gave it a half.
Yeah, I'll give it a half as well, if that's, yeah. Because like there was just no boobies, can't give it a 1, and when there should have been. I'm like,
Yeah. If there had even been one like nipple, then
right.
Yeah.
There was like an areola. There was like an areola, but like the top half. But that doesn't count because that was like accidental, obviously.
Yeah. There was sort of a thong shot, sort of. Like,
yeah, there was, I mean, that's the problem, is they looked good. Everyone looked good in this movie, but
yeah. I mean, clearly he knows how to cast good-looking people, you know.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't really know how to do anything else with them, you know?
Yeah. This was not a good one.
Yeah. So both of you guys give it half stars? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How about
Yeah.
you?
I'm gonna give it a full star for the costume or the clothes, and I didn't mind the scenes where they were standing around drinking wine. You know, I kind of like that. Like, and also like it was kind of cool seeing Barbara Crampton. I mean, she kind of got wasted in her role. You know, she ended up kind of not really doing much of anything, but
yeah,
she was funny though. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I would say if any of our loyal viewers or listeners are thinking about renting this for the $2.99, I would say don't do it. Like,
Yeah, pirate it.
Skip it. Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
watch the trailer and realize it's not good and skip it.
yeah, the
Yep.
trailer probably shows you all the best part. I bet the trailer shows the part with the lady in the coffin at the end. Probably, like that's like the
Probably.
only thing that happens in this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, this was a miss.
Yeah, big whiff. Yep.
All right. Well, the next one we're talking about is yours, Zach, which is also about sorority girls.
Yeah. We got I picked Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama.
Yeah.
Long
So we're
title.
jumping all the way back to 1980. What?
88.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Very good. I was saying it's a long title, and I got another long title for the next episode too. So
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the only one with like a good plot summary on Wikipedia. So
Yeah. This probably has the most plot out of the three too. So.
yeah, I think this might have been the only one released theatrically.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. We'll read the Wikipedia. Three nerdy frat boys, Calvin, Jimmy, and Keith, follow and spy on the Tri Delta sorority group, which is holding an initiation ceremony. So there we go. More initiations too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And half the cast in this movie, I think was either in Dr. Alien or Slumber Party Massacre. It like because I recognized at least a couple faces from both of them.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that after production ended, Decoteau reused the same cast and crew in Nightmare Sisters.
Cool.
So,
All right.
I think he has Linnea in a lot of stuff too.
Well, Linnea Quigley is a great choice because she. If you want somebody who's just nothing but charisma, there you go. I mean, like I remember being in love with her. Like I remember when I was a kid, I saw that Return of the Living Dead movie and just being obsessed with her after that. But I've liked her in pretty much everything else I've seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this is the first movie I've seen with her that she doesn't show her tits.
Oh my god, she doesn't.
Yeah.
That's wild. Everybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie had nudity.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Sorority members Babs, Rhonda, and Frankie prepare for the ritual while newcomers Taffy and Lisa wait. Observed by the frat boys outside their house, the two initiates get spanked by a paddle and are sprayed with whipped cream during the initiation, just to get a shower scene in there.
Yeah.
Pretty
It
much.
was a long spanking too.
Yeah. It was a long spanking and a long shower scene. They made sure to really like make sure that we got an eyeful basically. And the three main characters, I mean, they spend a really, really long amount of time not getting caught, despite hiding in really obvious places.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy being drunk off of one can of beer.
Oh yeah, he was completely wasted off of that one beer.
Yeah. And on a side note, I saw him and I played a video game. It was like an FMV video game called Night Trap when I was younger, and he's in that. He plays Jeff the vampire.
I think I saw that. I was looking up everyone's IMDb's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that one somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
It's pretty bad, but
Yep.
it was fun to play on the Sega CD back in the day, though.
I love FMV games, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
They're so funny. Oh my god, Sewer Shark is my favorite.
I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, it's pretty trashy, but yeah.
While the girls clean themselves, the boys enter the house. the girls catch them there. The boys are then sent with the pledges on a mission to steal a trophy from a nearby bowling alley. The bowling alley. Okay. I was going to mention something I'm going to read anyways.
Oh, okay.
Unbeknownst to them, Bab's father runs the mall where the bowling alley is located and watches the group through security cameras.
Yeah, and this movie makes a smart decision by having the mall and the bowling alley be closed. Because you save on lighting. Most of this movie is lit by mostly natural lighting. It seemed like it didn't seem like they had really much of a budget for this one. So like instead they kind of had like some backlighting and they just kind of let that sort of, I don't know, be like the mall bowling alley setting. And I don't know, I thought that worked pretty well actually. Like,
yeah,
so I could see it not working in another movie, but it worked in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, it's the 80s, so gotta have them all in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The group enters the bowling alley and encounters Spider, a stoic biker burgling the alley with a crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
That was random as hell.
Yeah.
Someone else breaking in the cash registers.
Yeah. And she ends up, so that's Linnea Quigley character, and she ends up being kind of attracted to one of the drunk dude.
Yeah. I like how he just walks in there slowly and just stares at her for a little bit before saying anything.
You come here often?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, like, she starts asking him about his glasses or something. I forget exactly what she said, but like she keeps talking to him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That was one thing I noticed is they had two of the nerds had glasses that would be hip today. Looked pretty cool for today's standards, but were probably nerdy back in the 80s.
Yeah, probably, But yeah, no, nowadays you look at the way the nerds in this movie look in today's lens, they look like they could be fashion icons, but in the 80s they were trying to probably go for more like the Poindexter stereotype type stuff.
Yeah, one of them definitely, the glasses didn't fit him though. Like you could tell he did not wear them. But,
yep.
All right, I'll try to buy it.
Yeah, I think he spent more of the movie with his glasses off, like because it seemed like he was always finding excuses to have them knocked off or to take them off or whatever. Like,
with Spider's help, they break into the trophy room, and upon accidentally dropping the bowling trophy, unleash an imp named Uncle Impy, who offers each of them one wish for freeing him.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I had
this
no
is when the
idea
movie
what was
gets
going
interesting.
on.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the puppetry? I mean it was cheap, but it was kind of cool,
Yeah, it's like slightly above Full Moon. Actually, it is a Full Moon production.
A full moon,
Never mind.
Yeah.
But a little more high quality than the other stuff we've seen from Full Moon.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't good.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't good. You could tell, like, when it was moving its mouth, like, that it didn't, like, it just wasn't working at all. But it looked, I don't know, like, it had personality, though. And, like, for me, when I see a puppet, like, that has personality, like, I can almost sort of ignore how cheaply made it is, like it. And for me, this puppet worked, although it might have had a lot to do with the jive talk that it was.
You see who does the voice of him?
No.
Dookie Flyswatter. That's a guy's stage name.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Flyswatter.
Yeah. Apparently he was in Surf Nazis Must Die too, as Mangala. However the hell you say that. Mangala?
Mangala. Okay. there were a lot of characters in Surf Nazis. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting stage name, but
Yeah.
all
That's a
right.
good one.
Yeah.
Jimmy is granted his wish of stacks of gold.
Yeah.
Taffy, her wish of being the prom queen, and Keith, his wish of having sex with Lisa.
Yeah. Like basically the movie goes to show this by like having her magically appear in like a fancy dress and then wander around dancing, and him, he kind of just lays on the floor, like
Yes, falls asleep next to a pile of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a big little pile of gold appears behind of gold bars, and he starts staring at it and starts like, talking about what he's gonna spend it on, and then he just falls asleep next to it. And that's kind of it. So and the whole time that the genie is, or not the imp is granting wishes, Linnea Quigley is just talking trash to it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Suspicious of Uncle Impy, Spider and Calvin decline his offer.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, they tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much.
But that's nice in the Wikipedia summary to refer to as them declining his offer.
Yeah. Uncle Impy. It's funny reading that every time.
Yeah.
Uncle Impy.
Uncle Impy then attacks the sorority trio from the cameras. Frankie is turned into the Bride of Frankenstein, and Rhonda is turned into a demon minion, and Babs flees.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like that other dude is getting like basically assaulted in the bathroom.
Yeah.
For like most of the movie, yeah.
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 Yeah. She's like kissing him, and he's like, "Wait a minute, we gotta slow down," or whatever. And she like keeps taking more of her clothes off. And, yeah. Yep. He's like complaining the whole time, pretty much.
It's what you wish.
Yeah, it's what you wish for.
Yeah. Maybe David Decoteau was trying to imply that he like was realizing that he was gay or something. Didn't want to like have anything, because I don't know, the whole scene with them two felt like really awkward. Like she was like, I don't know, it just seemed, it just felt like really uncomfortable and awkward. It was like the one scene in the movie that wasn't trying to be sexy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely real awkward.
Yeah.
After Babs is rendered unconscious from touching the mall's doors, which Uncle Impy has electrified to keep the group from leaving. The one thing Wikipedia doesn't mention is when they go into the camera room, they lock the janitor in the janitor's closet.
Yeah, that janitor is funny shit.
Yeah.
The janitor is hysterical. Yeah, he's just like this random guy who has trouble hearing.
Yeah. The whole time I was like, this guy sounds familiar. He was in a very brief scene and in Back to the Future too. He's the homeless guy on the bench. Where the only line he says in the movie is "goddamn drunks" after he comes back from the future.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, one scene and I remember this guy from.
Yeah,
that's good.
He left an impact.
Yeah.
He does have like kind of a specific presence to him. So
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
I looked at his IMDb and it was mostly homeless man. Is his credits.
That's great.
The group finds out that the wishes requested were not really granted, with Jimmy's gold made out of wood and Taffy's dress disappearing.
So her wish was kind of granted, but then it just kind of
It's taken
Shit.
away.
Yeah. Yeah.
The minions kill Jimmy and use his head as a bowling ball. And enchanted Lisa tries furiously to have sex with Keith.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know how they killed him either. I don't know what that machine was they were putting him in.
I think it was a bowling ball cleaner.
Mm,
Yeah, or like a waxer or something like that. One of those
Yeah.
kind of,
that would make sense.
yeah, because one of them says something about like have you got a quarter or something like that, and then like maybe they like put the quarter in and then it turns on and then they put his head in it. I don't know, but I saw that. I feel like it was that death scene happened in another bowling movie. Was it Gutter Balls? Like where somebody gets their
Yeah.
head put in like a ball waxer and then their head goes rolling down the alley or something. So of course that movie was made, decades later, but still.
Yeah. Um, Spider and Calvin hide from Rhonda in a closet where they find a pistol. Just random pistol in bowling alley back room.
Convenient.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, "Find me a weapon," and he gave her like a broom, and she's like, "What do you think I'm gonna do? Sweep them to death?" Or so, she said
Yeah.
something.
Like clean them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, polish their clothes, something like that. And then he gives her a gun, and yeah, like okay, this is more like it. So.
Yeah. This should have had it be like the old guys. Crazy old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, just randomly found it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then once they use it, they don't ever use it again. Like,
Yeah, I think because they couldn't find more bullets.
yeah.
Yeah, I do remember like she was trying to shoot something, but it was empty
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, so she just leaves it behind. Oh yeah, that was when they're in the closet. That's when one of the I forget who it was, either the ghoul lady or the bride of Frankenstein lady, like one of those two tries to like attack them, and she like shoots it a few times, but it doesn't kill them. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They shoot Rhonda, whichever one Rhonda was,
yeah.
then flee. After escaping Lisa, Rhonda kills Keith by shoving his face into a stove.
Yeah. Yeah, which one thing I will say, the death scenes in this movie are not really all that special. They're not really bloody or gross or anything. They're not really any worse than the death scenes in Sisterhood.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for this movie it didn't really bother me like as much because it didn't like draw attention to itself. Like a movie like this doesn't have to be all gory and nasty, blood and guts everywhere, as long as it doesn't like draw attention to the fact that it isn't those things. And I felt Sisterhood just felt like kind of an empty generic type of movie, and things like that sort of drew attention to its empty genericness. So
Yeah.
Although I do think it could have benefited from being a little more gory.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Still not bad.
Yeah.
The minions pull Taffy apart. Bab awakes and fights Rhonda, shoving her into the alley where she is seemingly killed by Spider with the bowling ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was, yeah, I wasn't sure if she got killed or not. I sort of don't remember her showing up again after that. So
Rhonda?
yeah.
She does show up again, yeah.
Okay.
With Rhonda dead.
Oh, okay.
Babs
I guess, yeah. I'm not
Babs
sure
is
who.
possessed and turned into a demon minion.
Yeah, so maybe it was Babs you were thinking of, because like once Babs turns into a demon, she kind of just does the same stuff that Rhonda did. I mean, at first she shows up and is like wearing like a jacket and stuff like that. But then something happens to her. I forget what. She gets like blown up or something. I don't remember.
Electrocuted by the door or whatever.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
did
yeah.
happen. Oh yes, they try to escape at one point, and the doors are electrocuted, and she gets shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the imp electrified the doors, I guess. Uncle Impy.
Old Uncle Impy.
Yeah.
Spider and Calvin find the janitor, who reveals that the imp was summoned to help a lousy bowler become a champion, and the imp was trapped for 30 years due to the creature killing people. The bowler was blamed and executed for the deaths.
Yeah.
That was
Kind of the only scene of exposition, but go on.
a funny back and forth between him and Linnea Quigley.
Yeah. Like hearing jokes or whatever, hearing aid
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah. Every time she said something, he'd misunderstand. It was like one of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made it funny though was, I mean, she was constantly just getting pissed off and irritated, and he was also kind of being like a grumpy guy. And I don't know, somehow it worked. So
Yeah. Meanwhile, after Babs kills Lisa, no longer under Impy's spell with the paddle, she is burned to death with a Molotov cocktail tossed by Calvin.
oh yeah. Yeah, she entrusts Calvin to light the cloth on the Molotov cocktail, and to not screw it up. And of course he does screw it up. He drops the bottle, and it ends up being this big deal where she has to get the bottle back, and then she tosses it to him, and then he has a second chance, and then he pulls it off and blows her up. And then she gets pissed because she liked her clothes.
Oh yeah.
After Spider and Calvin find the janitor dead, they are chased by Frankie with an axe, which kind of came out of nowhere because I thought she was holding a knife when they first opened the door.
She was, yeah. She just got an axe out of nowhere.
I noticed that.
She had a knife. They turned the camera, showed them running away, turned back, and she had an axe.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess it's enough time to grab an axe, but
well, but you never see her grab an axe at any point, and she, like that's probably the biggest continuity error in the whole movie. Was like how like moments before she was holding a knife, and then as she emerges from the door, she's just like wielding an axe. I don't know, the switch was so obvious that actually did make me laugh.
yeah, like at least have it on the wall or something near the door.
Yeah. It just made me I don't know, little things like that only like kind of make me sort of like that, like things like that usually happen when like you film like what probably happened is they filmed her stabbing the janitor like one day, and then the following day they shot the scene of her running out of the door, and things like that kind of are what make it obvious that things are shot on different days at different times and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Spider gains the upper hand and decapitates her, and the severed head knocks the doors open. While Calvin starts up the car and is attacked by Rhonda from the back seat. Okay, see, there
she was that's who I thought was in the back. Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Spider successfully traps Uncle Impy in a box. Calvin struggles to control the car and ends up crashing upside down. This is like full-on action movie, like rolling.
That was a great stunt.
Yeah. Spider cries out for Calvin and runs to his aid. Calvin survives while Rhonda is killed from the crash.
Yeah.
As day breaks, Spider drives Calvin to her house on her motorcycle, while Uncle Impy is seen trapped in the box at the curb asking for someone, including the audience of the film, to let him out.
Yeah. Yep, that was a little funny quip. It was like, you in the front row.
Yeah. So
and the can they put him in said Prince Albert in a can.
Okay.
Uncle Impy and Prince Albert can. Yeah, so pretty much all the sorority sisters die. And the only person we have left is the drunk nerd and Linnea Quigley, who presumably is going to bring him home. So,
Yep.
Live happily ever after.
Are there sequels?
One
Oh,
just came out like a week ago, actually.
What?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
That's hilarious.
just called Sorority Babes Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama 2. And then there's like a possible like spin-off.
Okay.
It's like Sorority Babes in the Dance-O-Rama of Death or something like that. Dance-a-thon of Death.
Dance-a-thon of Death. Are they both by David Decoteau?
No. So that spin-off one I don't think has any connections to it, just a similar title, but
yeah.
And the second one is directed by Brink Stevens, who played Taffy.
Yeah. Okay. And I think she was also in Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah, I think so. One of them at least.
Cool. All right.
Huh.
Well, all right. That's kind of interesting.
I watched like the first 10 minutes. It's so much worse than this.
Yeah, I kind of figure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Something like this can only work in the '80s. I feel like, because it's got like the '80s music and the mall setting and all that. And also like when they made this, they were shooting on film, so naturally they couldn't really afford to waste a lot of their shots. So technically speaking, I guess the film is stronger. It's still not good exactly, but it doesn't have that cheap, digital video look. So
yeah.
I don't know. I actually thought this movie was kind of a magical movie. Like it shouldn't work really, because like the plot is just so ridiculous about like a wish granting imp who terrorizes some sorority girls at a mall. It's kind of a lame idea. But I don't know. It's got such great energy to it. I don't know. I really dug it. Actually, I thought this was pretty entertaining. So.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. It was a fun little watch. 80s movie for sure. Hardcore.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was expecting a little more because people always have talked this one up, but
yeah,
still enjoyable. I think I originally gave it a 2.5, but I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I think a 3 is about what I would give it to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, it's a bit of an inconsequential movie, but I don't know. It's got pretty much everything you kind of expect, though. In general, I mean, it's got a cool little action scene at the end. It's got a severed head rolling down a bowling alley. It's got nudity.
Sassy imp.
Yeah, sassy imp.
Voiced
The
by Dookie
puppetry-
Flyswatter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I thought the imp looked, I'd say probably more personable than the alien from Mac and Me. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like that alien was just too stretchy looking, and I don't know. This worked better for me. So yeah, I don't know. I thought this was pretty cool. I'm glad I saw it. The title I'd heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a memorable title. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I would say, and I also I'd go even further and say I like this more than Dr. Alien. So
I'd have to watch that one again.
yeah, well, it's on Tubi if you're ever bored.
Yeah.
All right, so for my choice, I've chosen I think it was 1995. I was pretty sure the year was I read
97.
Oh, 97. Okay. 1997's David Decoteau film Prey of the Jaguar. And let's see, to describe Prey of the Jaguar, I guess I would kind of call it like a vigilante superhero type of thing. I mean, it's not like The Crow or Spawn or anything like that. I mean, it's kind of along those lines, but much more like vanilla.
Punisher.
Yeah,
If
Punisher.
anything, yeah.
Punisher would be the perfect thing to describe this as being like. Definitely Punisher like, or Punisher light, I should say. Lite. So I would say out of the three films that we talk about on this episode, I'd say in some ways this is the most ambitious, and also in some ways it's the least ambitious. I say ambitious only because I can't help but notice that this movie has a little bit more of a distinct style than the other two films do. The colors are more saturated and the camera angles are a little bit more dramatic. There's a lot of these,
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dutch angle.
The Dutch angles. I was trying to remember what they were called. Yeah, the Dutch angles. This movie's got plenty of Dutch angles to satisfy really anybody who's obsessed with those kinds of with like the graphic novel style thing. Basic plot, you got this guy who's played by Maxwell Caulfield from the 80s. He played the main character in Grease 2. Anyway, I actually like Grease 2 more than Grease 1, so
haven't seen that one.
But he was like a heartthrob in the 80s. He was in that movie with Charlie Sheen where they go on like the killing spree in Las Vegas, The Boys Next Door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this stars him, and so at the beginning of the movie, Kano from Mortal Kombat, he he teams up with the I guess he's a partner in crime. He's that one of the guys from Ring of Fire. He's that one dude who at the beginning of the movie he like when they go to that construction site or whatever where the main character works, he's the guy who's like snapping everybody's neck. But anyway, so yeah, at the beginning of the movie, Kano, I forget what his actual name is in this movie. He's got like a villainous
Damien
name. Bandera, yeah, Damien Bandera is the bad guy here, and he basically breaks out, all in kind of a weird way. Like he's like with this girl. I don't remember.
Jerry.
Yeah.
I know her. So she's
Okay. Yeah,
pretty famous Survivor player. She's been on 3 seasons of Survivor. She was actually like really like when Survivor came out, she was hated in the US. Like she was like one of like the biggest villains ever on the show.
That's funny.
It was hilarious. I was like, no, it blew my mind that she was on the screen.
Oh,
man. I knew she was an actor. Like she this was before Survivor. Like this movie came out before Survivor even came out. So she was, out there trying to get work and then went on Survivor.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind that Jerry, one of the most famous Survivor villains ever, was in this movie.
Oh my God. That makes me happy that I chose this one. Cause like, yeah, like how was I supposed to know that she started off with a David Decoteau movie?
Right? It was her debut film, yeah. Oh that's in the trivia in the IMDb, Jerry Manthi's debut film.
Wow. And for people who don't like her, I mean, she gets her neck broken right at the beginning of this movie. So
yeah,
there you go. But let's see. So after that whole thing, after the whole getaway, so it cuts to the main character, Max. I forget what the main character's name is, but he has an alias. because 8 years ago he put him and his father away, because I guess they were involved in some kind of criminal enterprise. And but now he has a family. He's married, has a kid. His kid has a sign on the door that says, like, anybody that comes in will get vaporized, which, doesn't end up working out too well for him. Spoiler alert. But the kid, though, you do kind of quickly learn that the kid likes to draw like superheroes, and he draws this one character, not Panther, the Jaguar. Jaguar weeds. There's like a part where he's like jumping on the bed saying that.
Pretty detailed little drawing. Went over all his weapons and stuff.
Yeah. The kid like describes like everything that he can do, and like says like, he relies on his strength, his inner strength, rather than his like superpowers. So it's like one of those kind of superheroes, like Punisher, basically. Yeah. And then Maxwell Caulfield, he leaves his son's room and finds that Stacy Keach has shown up. And Stacy Keach actually isn't in the movie very much, but I was surprised when he showed up. But he's somebody who worked for the same government syndicate that he used to work for. And he kind of shows up just to sort of preemptively like warn him that Bandera is out. He's on the loose. And of course he's like, oh shit, does that mean that we're we're in trouble here? And he's like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's like kind of hush. It's nothing to worry about, even though obviously like you wouldn't have told him that he broke it out if you weren't worried about, but whatever, I guess it doesn't matter. But he's got a glorious future to look forward to. He's got a wife who's carrying their second kid. He's just a domestic, hero of the household type of guy. And then he goes to his job, in charge of the construction yard. And let's see, and you quickly can quickly kind of pick up on how by the numbers he is right at the beginning of them at the job site, because like one of his employees is drinking wine out of a liquor, like out of a flask thing. And he gives it to him. He's like, I'll try this after we're done. They're
obviously setting something up.
Yeah, they're setting it up because they make sure to have a close-up of him putting the flask in his front pocket, and then Bandera shows up with his crony there, who, like I said, goes around snapping people's necks, and they shoot his friend who had the flask. And then right before they shoot him, Kano tells him that he killed his whole family, and he's like, no, it can't be true. And then he shoots him off the roof. Sometime later, Linda Blair and the police chief show up. So now we got a couple police detectives. So, some more characters. They show up, and there's kind of I don't know. I'm not really sure what they were trying to kind of just do with her character, because like when you first see her, she's pulling like a practical joke on her partner, telling him that she's leaving for a different department, and she gets him to she says to him that the reason why is because she loves him too much and all this stuff. But then it turns out that it's just a prank, and then she's actually just celebrating his birthday or whatever, or however long.
I think it was their partnership anniversary.
Okay, yeah. And they show up. They see him on the ground. They see that the flask prevented him from getting killed, because it was covering up his heart, which is where Bandera shot at him. And he quickly gets up and gets in the car and drives away to get back to his house. And they're trying to
steals a cop car. Yeah.
Yeah. He shows up at his house, finds them both dead, and goes, no. no. And then he's getting interrogated. He plays dumb, tells them that he didn't see anything, that that everybody just started getting shot, but doesn't really give any information. Goes to headquarters, basically finds out that they're covering for Bandera. They just keep telling him Bandera is dead. Bandera is dead. They even pull up the file and says deceased across it. But of course, like, it's pretty obvious, like, that they're just covering for him, because in reality, the government is working with Bandera. But we don't find that out right away. Instead, what happens is he goes to an armory, talks to Paul Bartel. It's another fun, cameo. I'm trying to think. We saw him in another movie on this show. He played the guy. Yeah, that was it. He played the guy at the beginning of Chopping Mall who saw the robot and said that it reminds him of his ex-wife because of the glowing eyes. That's Paul Bartel. And it's a pretty funny scene too, because he shows up and Paul's like, I was told not to help you. And so he gets all discouraged and stuff. And then he locks the door and puts the close sign up and he's like, come here. And he goes in the back in this armory area. And he's pretty much got everything that the guy needs. And so he gets all suited up. You look at the Jaguar costume. Not super impressive, I hate to admit.
Exactly.
Yeah. It looked better in illustrated form.
Yep.
In live action form, in real life, it looks like he's dressed like a Starship Trooper. It's just not a very good looking costume, and it's also not a very feasible costume too, because in the fight scenes, and I noticed this actually becomes a kind of a problem in the plot too. In the fight scenes, it seems like he has a harder time moving when he's wearing the costume than when he isn't wearing a costume. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's an issue. But we still get a training montage where he meets up with the guy from American Ninja. This movie's got a whole host of B-movie actors in it. It's pretty fun.
He was in Mortal Kombat too.
Yeah. Crazy. And I didn't expect all these actors to be in the movie either. Like, I didn't even look up the cast list when I chose this one, so it was cool. But yeah, we get a training montage. Let's see. He does end up going out and kind of doing a little bit of crime fighting, although not like a tremendous amount. He takes out this one dude who is about to deal drugs to some guy who says people suck on his shirt.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. And he like bites into the bag of cocaine and then just throws it on the ground and runs away.
Yeah.
But he hogties the guy and tells him that to like give a message to Bandera that justice is coming or something like that.
It was you better tell Bandera to pray because he is. And the guy on the floor is like, what? Pray.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Silly. And then let's see what else. Oh, he also takes out he also busts a drug dealing operation. And at some point he also breaks into headquarters again and gets into some fights, but manages to steal all the information about Kano. Although I guess a lot of it gets damaged during his escape, because when he picks up the paperwork, it's all burnt up. But there's over 200 pages. It's a telephone directory.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so then eventually the police start catching on to what he's doing, which makes sense because it's relatively obvious. I mean, he's really the only suspect. his he goes to the, I guess it's basically a dojo where the guy who was training him was, and there was another fight scene that happened there, and eventually the guy gets shot and killed, and he shows up, he like runs into the room right after it's happened, and then the police show up, and this is when we get a little bit of interesting character development with the Linda Blair character, because she notices the drawing that his son drew first, and then she finds the card, like the headquarters card, which his master gave to him. He did this weird thing where he presented him with a fortune cookie and then switched it to a card. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is that? Okay.
Yeah. So he gets interrogated, plays dumb again, and she gives him his stuff back, but she kind of hints to him that she's like on the up and up on what he's doing. Like she says, if I were the Jaguar, I would go after the main source or something like that. I forget exactly what she says. Yeah. Let's see. There's another fight scene in the alleyway where he warns another group of guys what's coming, and that was the fight scene in particular that I was thinking of that was actually more well done than the other fight scenes. Where he's in the suit, because he just roundhouse kicks them a few times and that's it. And then by this point, it becomes pretty clear from the police that the head government headquarters guy is teaming up with Bandera, although it's kind of foggy as to why. But it doesn't really matter because he shows up at their compound, basically takes everybody out. He, I think the government guy ends up getting shot or something. I don't remember exactly. No, that's not what happens. You see, I'm getting all mixed up now. He fights the neck cracking dude, and then he just outright kills the bad guy after he gets into a really awkward, clunky fight scene where he can't move fast enough because his suit's too heavy.
And he gives him a line too because he's holding a gun, and the bad guy's like, "Oh, that's just a dart gun. Even by the time the poison takes effect, I'll be able to grab this gun and shoot you." And then and Jaguar's like, "Well, no, I grabbed this off of one of your guys. This is a real one." And he's like, "No, you're lying," and he just shoots him. Good guys don't lie. Or like superhero. No, he says superheroes don't lie. He calls himself superhero.
Yeah. And actually that reminds me that I forgot to mention that every time he shoots somebody with a dart gun. And so up to this point in the movie, he isn't actually killing anybody when he shoots them. So it's like he's an extra good guy because he just tranquilizes everybody. But he kills Kay now, so it doesn't matter. He shoots him with the gun, and then the government guy shows up and goes, "Whoa, you just made my job easy. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. Now there'll be no loose ends," or whatever he says. Linda Blair shows up, shoots him. You don't find out that she shows up right away. You see him getting shot first, and then it shows her holding a smoking gun. She comes up with some bullshit excuse. She says something like, "Oh, I heard gunfire. I wanted to see if there was anything I could do to help." I don't know. I don't really believe her, but whatever. The Jaguar gets away, and let's see. There's and then there's one part where the police chief dude gets drunk
at the end. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah,
I don't know what that was either. He like takes a drink and then takes the bottle, and then I think that's pretty much it. What even happened in the last shot? Like I think it just shows the Jaguar like walking away or something, and then I don't remember, but it was like something. Yeah, I watched it this morning and I don't remember.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, but that's Prey of the Jaguar. It really pretty much just is, your basic by the numbers type of thing. I mean, it kind of feels like it could have been like a direct to video type of movie. Really the only thing that to me that made it interesting where like all the cameos and that and stuff, like it was cool seeing all these different actors that I'd seen in other movies all kind of be in one movie that borrows things from a bunch of other movies, you know.
Yeah,
Aside
so
from that, oh yeah,
it's like it's cheesy, but not too cheesy.
yeah, yeah, like the cheesy moments are few and far between, but overall, like the movie moves pretty fast. Like every scene is pretty important to the plot. I don't know. It goes along at a brisk enough pace. It's the longest of the three films we watched, I think. But it felt like the shortest, at least for me. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like it's the type of movie that you could like put on in the background and very easily like follow along what's happening, even if you're partying with friends or playing a card game or something. Like it, I don't know. It's a pretty simple type of movie, and I don't know. I guess I was in the mood for it, you know, because I actually ended up enjoying it. So, but what were your guys' thoughts on it?
I thought it was all right. You know, fairly generic, standard
Yeah,
superhero kind of origin story
yeah.
movie.
It's a typical Tubi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little like confused a little bit in the beginning. Was like, is this like a sequel or something? Because there was a lot of like just exposition being dropped that felt like it happened in another movie. Like, but I don't think it was a sequel to anything. So we're
Yeah, I
just
don't think
supposed
so.
to like get that he was a secret agent type dude that put this guy in jail, and all these other people are I don't fucking know connected and stuff. And
It's a sequel to whatever movie exists in the 80s or early 90s where somebody in the government puts away a bad guy.
yeah, yeah.
It's a sequel to Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah. The cast was good too, like you said. Yeah, it was fun to see all these cameo people show up.
Yeah. The biggest complaint I would have about this movie, and actually this is probably the biggest complaint I'd have about all three of these movies, honestly. The sound quality is pretty poor. Like you can kind of tell that, like as far as like voice recording and mics go, it doesn't seem like Decoteau seems to really have the best amount of resources. Like even Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama didn't have the greatest. Like there were some lines where I was kind of like, I mean, I kind of heard what they were saying, you know, but I guess if I had to like nitpick, maybe the like the voices could have been clearer, but I don't know. I guess if you watch them with subtitles, it's not a big deal. So
Yeah. I think it's like that time period for low budget movies, kind of like they're not going to spend that much money on the sound.
yeah, I guess they don't need to really. As long as you have some Foley artist who can do some good punching and kicking noise,
Yeah.
it all works out. What about you, Zach? What were your thoughts on this one?
I was surprised. I judged it on the cover, think it was going to be complete shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I would give this a solid 3 as well. I think I like Sorority Babes like maybe slightly more, but I don't know. I would still I would honestly I was entertained by this and I'm glad I saw it. So
Yeah, 3's all around. 3 for me too.
yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. And I would say out of the 3, this one's probably the most family friendly. Although I don't know, the opening scene's pretty brutal when you got like the wife getting killed and all that stuff. I mean, you don't see it happen, but you know, it's kind of intense when it comes to that sort of thing. So you got a pretty nasty villain. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, interesting enough filmography, I would say. I guess yeah, I would totally be down to watch more of these. Same with Albert Pian. Like we'll check out some more of these directors' work. Maybe we'll do a crossover. But I guess that concludes our episode. So now 420 is coming up. So we're gonna we're gonna choose some films to celebrate that. Do either of you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Like I said, mine's another long title.
All right. I'm ready.
So it's called Jesse's Super Normal Regular Average Day.
All right. Excellent. Cool. Should I go next?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's a 2019 movie that I'm choosing because I like the cover and because I heard it's kind of a psychedelic movie. It's called Bliss.
Was that Joe Begos?
It might be. I didn't look up the director. I just saw the cover. Like I didn't even read what it was about, to be honest. But
It's like a girl with sunglasses, kind of pink.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Nice.
Okay. There was one. So my choice. There was one I wanted to choose, but it's not streaming anywhere.
Which one was that?
Free Jimmy.
Okay.
It's an animated movie. An animated stoner movie.
Nice.
And it has like fucking Woody Harrelson's in it. So I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. All right.
But it's not streaming anywhere. I think it was like a Norwegian movie too. So
all right.
They just did the English voices. I'm gonna choose Bong Water.
All right, cool.
That
Is that one word or two?
I think it's two. It has a bunch of it has like
Jack
Luke
Black.
Wilson, Jack Black, Brittany Murphy, Andy Dick.
Nice.
Bong Water, one word, I guess. Yeah, one word.
Bong Water. All right. So Bong Water. What's yours called? Jesse's
Super Normal Regular Average Day.
Okay, Jesse's Super Normal Regular Average Day, Bong Water, and Bliss. Those are the three movies we're going to be talking about for our 420 special. So brace yourselves.
Yep.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be very exciting, I think. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that does it. I guess that's all we have to say for now. So. All right. So yeah. I guess have a good night, everybody, and thank you for listening and thank you for watching.
Have a good one.
See ya.